Sweet. We can start. I don't normally have an intro, but I have to start by saying I am a little bit intimidated.
Why are you intimidated?
Because, dude, your space is like...
Your space is amazing. This space is great.
But I like looked at your space. I was like, let me try and do that.
This is great. This is pretty close.
It's close, but with like a lot more painter's tape and like...
Hey, man. we're all building it as we go, bro.
Okay, well, for anyone who doesn't know, you are Ruslan.
I am Ruslan.
You are
Dustin.
I am Dustin. You are one of the reasons I was inspired to even start doing this kind of stuff in the first place.
Sorry, I keep looking up at your fancy screen.
So we connected after I won AGT because I was like, now that I won, I can probably try and meet people who I'm a fan of. So I was like,
well, you hadn't won yet when we first connected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were still on the show.
Okay, so you liked me before I won?
Yes.
Now I feel
I
like
really did.
Cool.
You were just on the show. You hadn't won yet. It was like a couple episodes. It was like a month before you won.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so Ruslan liked me before I won. I wanted to do something first.
Okay.
Richard's gonna be here soon. Before he gets here, I want to try something. I sent you an Amazon package.
Yes.
Told you to bring it. I
Yes.
said don't open it until you're here.
Yes.
Okay. So
this is
you
the
have
package.
That. Yes. So you have it with you. I want you to do something for him. I want you to open it up.
Okay. Let's see. I'm verifying this is real.
Real Amazon.
You're not gonna pull one over on me, Dustin. All right, I'm gonna open it.
It's really
so
not.
Dustin told me not to open this. He said don't open it. All right, so let's see. We got a Rubik's Cube.
Yes, I want you to open it up.
Okay, so my son loves Rubik's Cube. Okay.
You can open that up.
Okay.
And that's when you start mixing it up. Cool.
Looks legit.
It looks legit. So start mixing it up, and you're gonna do something while you're mixing that.
Oh, this
up,
feels good. Can I keep this?
Yeah.
This for
me?
me?
It's a gift for you, for your son. I want you, while you're mixing that, I want you to think of a number between 1 and 30. I have a coloring book here.
Okay.
30 iconic characters, okay? So everyone from like Scooby-Doo to Marvel characters.
Okay.
You're gonna give me a number between 1 and 30 while you're mixing this. Don't let the cube influence you. Don't let the book influence you. Just give me the first number that comes to your head between 1 and 30.
17.
17. Do you want to change your mind, or that's what you want to do?
I'm sticking to 17.
Okay, so look.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Should I change my mind, guys? Chat, help. That is a live chat here. I'm so chronically on YouTube. I'm talking to a chat that doesn't exist. Should I change my mind?
You got to go straight
1
on.
and 30. All right, let's do. Yeah, let's keep it at 17.
17?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Not changing it.
Not changing it.
Okay. So if you would have had 2, you would have had Bugs Bunny. I'll make sure which camera can see this. 3 is Pillsbury Doughboy.
Okay.
We got people like Stormtrooper, Mickey Mouse, the Smurfs, which would have been number 9. 12 is Sonic. 13 is Tin Man. 15 is Yoshi. 16 is Hook.
Oh,
you
okay.
said 17.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
17 out of all these characters you just picked.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Richard, can you please come in here? Richard.
Oh my gosh. What in the? Oh.
Merry early Christmas.
I should have said 13. What would have happened if I would have picked 13? How did you do that? What's up, Richard? I'm a big fan.
How you doing, my guy?
Good to see you, brother. Yes.
So also,
your pants are falling off.
Yeah,
So-
I had no idea. Real talk.
So I want to tell you something. So Richard also had no idea what was happening. I said, "Come over in a Santa suit."
Bruh. Real talk. Real talk.
This is
man.
amazing. This
it's
is
good.
amazing.
I like.
Thank you so much, Lord have mercy.
Wait, but we're not done. I said,
Okay.
he can take this stuff off.
Okay, so I thought I picked that number at random.
Yeah.
You did not guide me to pick that number, so I'm kind of bugging out. But then I'm also overwhelmed. Good to meet you because I love you on this podcast
Well,
with
look, you
him.
could have picked any of these people.
I could have picked. I don't know how you did that.
I could have been Spider-Man. I could have been Yoshi, SpongeBob.
But what's funny is that Richard also didn't know what was going on.
No idea.
And he has gifts for me.
Yeah, he's gifts. So the first one, Christmas is right around the corner.
I know.
And what better way to start your Christmas shopping than to buy Godly Ambition by
Come
Ruslan
on.
KD?
Let's go.
Let's
Shameless plug.
Shameless. I love this.
This is
You're
actually-
doing all the work for me.
I mean, look, it's perfect time for Christmas. You can get
yes.
this on Amazon.
That's right.
On
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Yep.
All places
All
that
places
sell
that
books.
sell books. Yep.
And then the other present to Dustin
Oh,
from
my
Dustin.
goodness. This is crazy.
I have in this present that I wrapped for myself, I have a Rubik's Cube.
No way you have it the same way.
Listen, dude, you just mixed yours. And what's
Stop
crazy,
it!
just for Christmas, look
What?
at this. Pew, pew, pew.
What?
You mixed it the same as my present.
Oh my gosh.
On this side, on this side,
Did you
on
help
this
her?
side.
No, not
Did you
at all.
swap
these
it?
sides.
No.
Matching.
Oh
Merry
my
Christmas.
gosh.
That's the high five. That's the call for the.
Oh, sorry.
Not-
You always do that because you're always trying to give somebody a high five while we're bugging. He does that to you too.
Promise you, man. Dude is freaky, man. How does he do this stuff?
All right, now let's start a podcast. Thanks, Richard.
Bro.
You can undress if you like out of the Santa stuff.
Lord.
You're a good friend, Richard.
It's hot, man.
I was
promise
like,
you.
hey, dude, can you come over? I was like, you just have to put on a Santa suit. He's like, why? I was like, you'll find out.
I'm still tripping how you did that. Oh man.
I know, right? Trust me.
I've
They
never
keep you up at
asked. I've never asked him for how he does any of his tricks. Okay, because I still love. I'm a kid at heart, and I love the magic and the mystery. But this might be one of those like we might have to go get some food, and you're gonna have to. Have you ever asked him how he does it?
night. He never tells me nothing,
never
man.
tells
He keeps me up at night, bro.
You've asked though.
Oh, yeah, a couple different times. Oh, I can't tell you. Magician secret. I sworn to secrecy.
Secret C.
Secret. Shut up. You know what I mean.
That was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how he does any of this stuff. Dude, he's the GOAT, man.
Cool. I'm stoked for you guys to get to meet. You're two of my favorite people.
I'm pumped.
Both made an awesome impact in my life. So funny enough, I did think it'd be fun to talk about your book because you're selling this
As if
book.
you pull something out of the
No.
book, I'm gonna lose it.
And inside,
And inside is a childhood photo of yourself. And it's a totally new version of the book.
Yeah.
It's a coloring book with photos.
it's the children's
Like, what?
version.
I would lose
But if
it.
we do look at page 17, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
I was gonna.
I was like, for real?
No, listen. I am planning a trick to do with this book. But if anybody wants to see it, they're gonna have to wait until the Bless God Summit.
Oh, you were so good at this.
Bars.
You were so good at this.
But
The Bless God Summit happening March 5th,
yeah.
6th, and
Oh,
7th.
who's gonna be there? KB. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing his shirt. I'm wearing a KB shirt.
let's
He's gonna be
go.
at the Bless
He's gonna
God
be at the
Summit.
Bless God Summit. You coming to Bless God Summit?
Where's that?
It's in Oceanside.
Oh,
gotta
let's
come.
You have
go.
a Santa beard on your beard.
Do I really?
Oh, I thought he just had a little gray. I was just gonna let him
one long-
rock, bro.
Crack don't crack, bro.
And then just do one of these. Yeah, there you go.
Is it still there?
That's amazing.
But yeah, Bless God Summit. Remind me the dates.
5th, 6th, and 7th.
5th, 6th, and 7th.
go.
Cool. We're getting all the plugs in with
Come
the
on.
magic
This is
stuff. I was like,
amazing.
Come
how can
on.
we put everything into one?
Yeah, you're killing it right now.
But no, I did think it would be cool to talk about the book. I am a big fan of you, not just as a communicator, obviously as a friend, not just as a podcast person, but I think as like a mind. Like I always tell you, you have
Aw.
like a brain that I think works really cool. It's very unique, but it's not just the way that your mind works, but it's the way that you're able to communicate the things that God has put on your heart and the things that you're passionate about. It's the thing that I strive to be like every time I'm around you or watch one of your podcasts. I'm like, how does he think this way?
You're
And
so
I'm like, how do
kind.
you have this much time for research? Because you know so many things. Every time I ask him a thing, he knows all about it, except for magic.
You're making me sound like a know-it-all right now, and I don't appreciate
no,
it.
not in a bad way. Like in like an inspiring, like you do the work, which I think is the cool thing. Because some people on the internet just want to throw around opinions, and I have seen you very humbly research, know things, and then share that knowledge with people really for free on the internet. And I think
thanks,
it's
man.
really, really cool. So yeah, dude, I'd love to dive in, just your heart behind this book, the heart behind just what it's about, why you wrote it. And then yeah, we can just kind of go from there. I don't really
Let's
have a
do it.
plan other than having Ruslan sit in my podcast.
I love this, man. We gotta have you back to my podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Can we have both of you guys back? If
Yeah.
you can come and do tricks to get his reactions
On your podcast.
on my
I
podcast.
hope y'all know that my reactions are very genuine. Like that's
No, I
just-
know.
just
That's what makes
happens.
it great.
And I am the least of these. All of my brothers and sisters act.
That is
exactly
what
the
makes
same.
it awesome.
You're
That's
the
what makes
least
it
of
awesome.
these
I
in
am the
your
least
community.
of these. Exactly, right? And I'm that loud. Imagine what all my cronies are like.
That is why we gotta have both of y'all.
Yeah, we should. That actually would be really fun. Although Richard recently told me he's never flying with me because my
Oh, man.
My
Bad
la-
luck, bro.
dude, I just had a trip. I did a trip with a friend of ours who was running my music cues. He came with for the first time. I've had like really, really bad traveling experience lately. Should we call out an airline on this?
I don't have any problems calling.
Yes,
it airlines.
American
Oh,
Airlines
it's
needs
the
to get their
worst.
stuff together, bro.
I don't know what's going on over there,
Dude.
bro.
And the thing that's annoying is like I have status with them because I fly so much.
right.
And it almost seems like I've been this far. It's almost like when you're in a crappy relationship that you've been in for a long time.
Can't get out of it.
And you can't get out simply because you're like, I've already put the work in.
But, they just started flying out of Carlsbad, which is the airport 10, 15
Oh,
minutes
yeah, you
from
told
my
me that
house.
they're building a...
And so everything from Carlsbad to Phoenix, and if you can get somewhere direct to Phoenix, it's nice because you don't got to drive an hour. But it is just such a terrible experience. And I'm a Delta guy, so I have status with Delta, and Delta is the best. But yeah, I flew here on American, and we were in Dallas for 3 hours on the tarmac, delayed.
See, that's the other thing is Dallas, though, is the problem, too, because DFW's been having problems. We literally, the other day, we were flying, and Colton doesn't fly a whole lot. So our friend who came with me, this is like his first time in a while. He'd never done a job with me before. He came to run the music cues. We're literally landing, and they're like, oh, all the computer systems just shut down, so we're going to have to circle around until they know where we are. So then we're circling around forever, and then they're like, okay, they gave us the go-ahead to be like the first ones to land. So we go to land again. They're like, oh, nope, they just shut down again. So we circle around. Then they're like, oh, we're running out of gas, and we need to get gas. So
They told you we got to get gas?
So we went to a
They said
plain
it out
gas
loud.
station. Dude, we legit went to
Stop
the...
at an
Bro,
Exxon.
listen, bro.
You got gas in the sky?
No. There was like we had to
would've been
land
dope.
somewhere else. It was this little building. It had one window. Like this, how small this building was. We pull up. They fill up as if we were at an Exxon or something. They fill up the plane.
Hold on,
We go to
bro.
take off, and they're like, "Oh man, we put too much fuel in the plane."
What?
Like if you hear weirdly like loud noises, it's because we have to burn off the fuel. So they burn off the fuel. We go back. So now we're like super late. Miss our layover. We get there. They put us on a new flight. That one gets delayed till like 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Then it gets canceled. They put us on another one that gets canceled. There was another flight that was earlier that we would have missed that got delayed now to the point where we could get on that one. So we go on that one, and there was like 100 other things that I'm trying to remember as we're going through this. But then we're on the flight, on this next flight, flying in, and the pilot gets on right before we land. He's like, hey guys, just letting you know that we just did the test on the landing gear, and it came back blank. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to work. They're like, so they're like, when we land, as we're coming in, you're going to see a ton of emergency vehicles. Don't be alarmed. They're just there in case the landing gear doesn't work. Don't be alarmed at the 100 ambulances and fire trucks.
Bro.
I bet you
Bro,
imagine
we
it's somebody's first time flying.
Like Colton,
That's crazy, bro.
They freaking out.
So how was the landing?
it was fine, and thankfully they didn't need to use the 100 emergency vehicles that we went past. But it was scary because we're like landing, and I'm like, I don't even know what like in my mind, the landing gear makes you land, but I don't know like what would happen if the landing gear doesn't work. I don't know enough about the landing gear. In my mind, the wheels aren't coming down. We're just landing and shaving the bottom of the plane.
Yeah.
Like I landed, I kept my feet in the air, like, just in case the bottom of the plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you landed safely.
So we landed.
Yeah.
And then this wasn't American Airlines' fault, but we then we went to rent a car. Oh, that was the other thing. We had to fly to Denver instead of Colorado Springs because all of those flights got canceled. So now we had to drive like an hour and a half to Colorado Springs. So we went to rent a car. Every single car rental place was out of cars. So we Ubered. The Uber that we went in was with this Uber driver, and like the car, it just kind of smelled. And this dude, like it was really cold, but he was like sweating. He was wearing a wife beater. It was like freezing cold. And then he found out he lives in his car. So he's like a homeless dude that drives Uber.
Well, right, and Uber approved them?
I guess, but
Y'all didn't do
his-
this in Uber, bro. Y'all did like Oopser or something like that. Y'all did a
Bro,
different
your life is just one big dramedy,
No,
bro.
it is not Uber's fault. It ain't American Airlines. It's you, my guy. You have so many of these stories. It's you, bro. It's you.
I think it is. That's actually maybe
100%.
How often
Unfortunately
are you
true.
traveling?
pretty often.
Like every weekend?
It's been almost like twice a week for this last like
Twice a
2
week?
months. Unfortunately, yes. We usually try and do like twice a month, but this last couple months has been kind of busy.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, at that rate, you just got more bats.
But the funny thing, you got more back. You got more
Just
back.
sheer volume at that point, bro.
Something's bound to happen.
Something's bound to happen.
Percentage.
Someone's gonna get hit in the balls.
More at bats.
You know, someone's gonna get hit in the face with the ball.
That's hilarious. What was the funny thing is then as we're driving there, he's like, "Hey, you guys hungry? Should we stop and eat?" And I was hungry. And as we're stopping, I'm like, wait, and an Uber, like the Uber driver just asked if we wanted to stop and eat because he was hungry. Like this is 100% why he's asking. So we stopped at In-N-Out. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'll take a double. He's like, just get the
He
combo.
made you pay for
yeah,
it?
just say, so we
Please
bought
tell
him-
me that's the case.
No, so we bought him In-N-Out.
Y'all pay for his food.
But you're just funny. So we pull out of the drive-thru and he parks. and sits and eats. I'm like, bro, we're already like so late. Like it's like 1 a.m. right now.
This is amazing.
And that was the only place we could go because In-N-Out's open until like 1:30.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in the parking lot.
This is great.
Waiting for him to finish his meal. We drive like another 30 minutes. He's like, you guys still hungry? I was like, no, dude. I was like, we're going straight to the hotel for the love of all things. And then, of course, we pray for himself afterwards.
Yeah.
But I was way too tired to feel like a Christian. Colton, thankfully, he's talking to the guy. He's sharing Jesus with the dude. And I'm like, I'm way too tired to not think about the fact that this man just tricked us into buying him food. And we're eating in his house right now in the parking lot of In-N-Out.
That is amazing. That is amazing, bro.
Yes, this is why Richard said he'll never fly with me. So
Never.
Maybe
Never.
we'll drive. We'll drive to see him.
I'll
That might
meet you
be
there,
worse.
my guy. Nope. Not
Yeah,
going to happen.
that sounds bad.
But you'll fly to go see Ruslan
Yeah. Well,
on a different plane.
Separately.
Well, that's what me and Colton did on the way back because they messed up our flights on the way back too. We had to get on 2 separate.
Oh no.
planes, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Colton, bro.
I know.
He's scarred.
He's not coming with
He's
me.
not going
anymore.
anywhere
Such
ever
a good
again.
dude too. I promise
Poor
you.
guy.
He's solid.
He came, served his butt off, like he never did this thing before. You know,
Yeah.
it was a thing for Focus on the Family. So
Uh-huh.
he's meeting everybody, meeting Jim Daly and Greg Smalley, right? All the heavy hitters at Focus on the Family, running the thing. Never done a thing like this before. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna make your life horrible for the weekend.
Wow. Man.
You left early in first class, man. This dude is over there
No, I didn't.
in the
No, but
toilet.
Wait, okay, so
Bruh,
that was actually going to be my question. Okay, so I know you got status.
Yeah,
And by the way, I despise how American Airlines status works because they have miles and they got loyalty points. And loyalty
Yeah.
points are only when I fly with you, not the money I spend with you, which is
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
Delta is just one pot. So I'm always getting upgraded to first class. But then I started thinking, like, if I start bringing people and I'm constantly getting upgraded,
Boom.
Yeah.
I would feel like a jerk.
Yeah, yeah.
They're back
So-
in the
Hey,
cops.
you just over there.
So, but like, okay, because I thought about that. I was like, if this happens, do I give him the first class
Right.
seat? But then he's by himself.
Right.
So I might as well be by myself in first class.
Yes. Is that wrong?
I don't know. That's what I was
Pastor, is that wrong?
Yo, I would rather be in first class by myself than with anybody, and this is including my wife and kids. If I'm in first class, I'm from the hood. I'm in first class. You understand, right? And so I'm like,
You
give
understand.
me my hot towel
That is
and
awesome.
extra little Biscoff cookies, and
No,
I'm good.
but you know what's so funny? Listen, I sometimes can be the most selfish person on the planet. My family knows this. My wife calls me out for it all the time. I try not to be. I'm working on it. But so when we were flying back and we got put on 2 separate flights, first they had him on a flight that was like 4 hours after mine. And I'm thinking here, like, who's going to pick him up from the airport? 'Cause if I'm a land,
He has a wife and 2 kids, by the way. Yep.
So finally we got him on a flight that was supposed to land like an hour after mine. I take off on my flight, and then it starts storming in Colorado Springs. I'm like, oh, he's not. He's still gonna be
ain't
stuck.
coming.
Oh, I'm sorry, in Dallas, because this is our layover. Starts storming in Dallas, and I'm like, he's not taking off. He's not gonna his flight. He's stuck in Dallas tonight, and I'm on the plane headed to my family and my own bed.
Oh.
And so I'm literally picturing. Then as I land, it starts storming here in Branson. I'm like, oh, he's definitely not getting here. And I start to feel bad for myself because I'm like, I mean, Colin's stuck in Texas. He's gonna figure it out. But what are people gonna think of me? How am I gonna tell Richard, my pastor, and my friends that I left Colton in Texas?
Oh, well, Pete, I called Colton. So I called Colton while.
Yeah, what
like,
was
I
Colton's version of this?
Because we were supposed to be doing something later that night. We were supposed to be going out, you know, to eat or whatever, right? So I called Colton. I'm like, hey, yo, man, we still gonna make the function. Colton was like, hey, man, dude, no, I'm not gonna make it. I had yet another layover. I'm still in Dallas.
My God.
And Colton said, and I quote, this has been the worst traveling experience of my entire life.
And then he says,
He
but
said
maybe
bar
you
for
can
bar.
maybe you can have dinner with Dustin because he's home.
Yeah. All right, man, yo, have Dustin take a spot. We all in this house eating his food. But yeah, man.
Jeez,
But he
bro.
did make it. He did get on the
He
plane.
made it.
He did land, and I waited for
You
him at the
waited for him.
airport.
Good man.
I was like, maybe I'll like lay down in the parking lot outside and get rained on, just so I can be like, well, I had to sleep in the parking lot waiting for him.
He even had his name wrong, right?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't Cole Matney. It was like, what was it?
Matney
like,
Douglas.
Matney Douglas or something like that. Not even close.
Yeah.
Poor
That is-
guy.
That is really
But-
bad.
Yeah. So all that to say, well, I'll do my best to get Richard there, but we'll fly separately. You can book
I'd
it separate.
drive.
I'll drive.
That's a long drive.
Bruh.
It is a long drive. You need to come on the podcast and also to the Bless God Summit. That would be actually super
Dope,
fun.
man. Sign me up. Ain't no mountain high enough. I would love to go.
Yeah.
Real talk.
We'll do it. Also, you need to get this book,
Come on.
Godly Ambition, available on
right.
Amazon, Barnes and
Yeah.
Noble.
Audible?
It is on Audible.
Is it your
It
voice?
came out really good. It's my voice. I actually read it.
Oh, you did?
Hey,
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God, let's
that's
go.
awesome.
I really dislike when people don't read their own audiobooks. My
Yeah.
friends, I got a couple friends that have it, and I'm like, it feels so fake.
Yeah. It's just some like
Some random dude
a
with,
random
with
old
with
guy.
a nice voice.
yeah.
He like bangs out 7 of them a week. So this is like another day in the
Yeah.
office for him.
Just sitting at home in his closet, just reading. But no, I would love, again, like, just to talk a bit about this, because like I said, I do love the way that your brain works, and I know this book kind of comes at a different angle, because I think there's a lot of like misconceptions of what it means to be a Christian while also following your dreams, because we live in a very chase your dreams culture, but then comes the idolization of dreams, right? And as a Christian, that's weird, because we're not supposed to have idols. Sometimes our ambitions and our dreams are our idol, but because we slap scripture on it, because we slap Christianity on it, now we're like, we justify the fact that we have this idol. This is like that balance, right? Of like
Yes.
what it means to be called by God, to chase these things, and to keep God first in the midst of all of it.
Exactly. How do you go after the things you feel like God's calling you to do without losing your soul and without losing your family and without losing your health, right?
Yeah,
And
because normally people lose one of those things, which is
Yes.
wild to hear you
Yes.
make those 3 categories.
Yeah. And so I think orienting ambition ultimately as service and stewardship.
Wow.
So your ambitions need to be stewarded, and they need to be moving towards
Yeah.
serving other people.
Yeah.
So in Luke 22, when Jesus is about to go to the cross, the Last Supper, he just washes the disciples' feet. He's like, one of you guys are going to betray me. They start arguing about who's the greatest, right? Totally misread the room. This isn't the first time they're arguing about who's going to be the greatest.
Yeah.
Totally fumbling. And I'm just like, come on, like, how do you miss that moment, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus, instead of rebuking them, which he had no problem with rebuking people, he had rebuked, Peter, Judas, the Pharisees.
Yeah.
Instead of rebuking their desire for greatness and their ambition, he redefines what it means to be great. And then he redirects them to service and to serving others for building God's kingdom up.
That's really cool.
So it's pointing to that upside down kingdom.
Yeah. And I love, I think, the idea of redefining that, even when you said ambition as being service, I feel like that already starts to solve so many of the problems. Because when you said, a lot of people chasing their dreams, being ambitious, they end up losing their families, they end up losing their health, they end up losing this stuff. When you think of it as service, that also means serving your family and the people around you. When you think of it as like, this is not for me, this is for the people that God puts in front of me. Dude, that is like really strong, actually, bro. And it is crazy how just those little perspective shifts start to change the way you go about things.
Well, I think I've observed you actually exhibit something in this. So you just a few minutes ago said you're naturally a very selfish person, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that I know about you is probably because you're naturally a selfish person, which all of us could be selfish, is that you're constantly utilizing the anchor of service to keep that selfishness in check.
Yeah.
Right. So I when I think of Dustin, I don't think of you as a selfish person. I think of you as one of the biggest servants that I know. Like you're always
thanks, man.
willing to help, do whatever. I'll stack chairs. I'm just here to serve. And I think that's probably a framework that you've developed over the years to say, hey, in my flesh, I'm gonna flow into this like let me build my castle.
Yeah.
So how I keep myself in check is I intentionally serve people in rather remedial tasks as someone who is highly successful.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to, and that's probably a framework you've developed over the years.
Oh, thank you.
Keep yourself anchored.
First of all, thank you. That really does mean a lot. And I think that as we think about even what it means to have character, I think that sometimes people think that some people have good character because naturally they have these feelings of selflessness and of generosity and of forgiveness. Right. And I think that it really is a thing to work towards, because all of us in our flesh, we have these things. And I remember, we did homeless ministry for a while. And I remember like, it just hit me. And maybe this is like kind of a weird parallel, but some of these guys, like they'd be sober for a little while from like heroin, right? And I remember like we'd celebrate, like you made it a week without using heroin. And it's weird because no one's ever celebrated me for not using heroin. But the reason is because I'm not exhibiting strength by not doing heroin, because that's just not a thing that I struggle with. But for someone who struggles with that thing, it actually is a sign of strength, them not doing it because of the thing that is their struggle. So actually, when you see someone functioning in that form of self-control, it's not that they don't desire it. And if anything, they're actually stronger in that area because of the fact that they crave it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of us who are wanting to develop character, we think that like, oh, well, it's not part of my character if I am selfish. I don't have good character, I guess. I'm naturally inclined to be depressed. I'm naturally inclined to be mad at my dad. I'm naturally inclined to be selfish with my stuff and stingy with things. But I think that's what's so cool about the Bible, is that it actually challenges us to function outside of those things, and that's the celebration.
Boom.
And then similarly, not to just talk forever, but similarly, I heard someone say recently too that bravery is not the absence of being scared. Because if you're not scared, then it's not bravery, right? If it's not scary to you, then you're not being brave. You're just doing a thing that you are fine doing. Bravery is actually doing something in the presence of fear. So it's actually feeling scared and still doing it. That's bravery.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing I love encouraging people in, is like, don't wait for the feelings to just naturally show up, for God to wave his little magic wand and be like, poof, now you're a good Christian. But like, be willing to do the work and lay this stuff down.
Come on.
It's good.
So would you say that this has come from a place then of, I have struggled with these things and put this on paper? Is this a thing of like, I've always wanted to be able to communicate this? I know you've sat down with hundreds, maybe if not thousands of people, right? And had conversations. And I feel like you're the kind of person, because you're a sponge, you're constantly picking up things from other people. Like, what is this book? Is this?
Yeah, it's a book to the version of me from 20 years ago, right? Like, I come to faith. I have a pretty rough background. And it was like, all right, like, start reading the Bible, start going to church. All right, check. I got it.
Yeah.
Church, Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop looking at porn. Stop sleeping with your girlfriend. Okay, I'm going to try to not do that anymore, right? But there was never a practical replacement of what else am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get after it? What is my work ethic? How am I being formed into the image of God in a very practical sense? And so we serve a supernatural God, but seldom do we talk about the super practical aspects of Scripture. So a lot of this is writing to the version of myself from 20 years ago that wish someone sat me down and was like, hey, you want to get married? But let me tell you, getting married isn't just going to make your lust issues go away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's not just going to make your porn habit magically disappear.
Yeah.
Like, you need to work on these things. And the way you actually work on them, outside of like, yes, wage war on your sin, purge the garden of your life from the weeds and the gophers that are destroying it. Yes, but plant better fruit.
Yeah.
You got to plant a garden. Right?
Yeah. Come on.
And what are you planting? And so I think nowadays, with so many people, whether it's quiet quitting, whether it's this hustle culture, now you're burnt out, whether it's you actually achieved a little bit of success, but now that success defines you and your identity is in it. Whether it's the opposite extreme of like, you're burnt out, so now you got this hyper fixation, not let me be clear, not of Sabbath, but of like Sabbath culture or work-life balance. So you got dudes in their 20s that are like turning off their phone for 3 days a week because they want to sit and meditate and eat granola and sit under the sun barefoot and spend time with Jesus. It's like, my buddy John Keith dropped this gem on me. He said, the idea of a Sabbath day is predicated on 6 days of hard work.
Yeah.
like you got folks that haven't done the hard work and they want to tell me about Sabbath. It's like, well, where's the hard work? It's like folks who go to the gym and they're afraid to overtrain. Yeah. Well, you got to train before you overtrain.
Yeah.
And so I think it's speaking right to all of that. Whether you're nihilistic, whether you're apathetic, or whether you're just obsessed with the materialism, and saying, hey, let's give you a proper framework. Orient yourself and your ambition in Christ. That's part one. Discover the reason why you're here. Your purpose is to know God and make Him known. Your assignment is going to change based on the season you're in. But then your calling is discovered through serving people, and specifically, you'll love this, serving in church. Right? Like, get into a local church. Practice, exercise those gifts. Get under some sort of spiritual authority. And then like work out what God has worked in. That looks like, how are you handling your finances? How are you taking care of your body? What kind of husband and father are you? Because, man, there's a future version of you that's depending on the current version of you to make better decisions. And no one really broke it down to me that way. So it's like, when I turned 30, all of a sudden, like, I have my first son, but all those issues from my 20s are I'm still dealing with them. I still have these patterns of sin. I still have these habitual things, and I can't shake them.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, okay, this took me a decade to walk through. Maybe I can compress time for people. Maybe I can make it a year or two for people, instead of 10 years.
And I think what I love too is just even in you talking multiple times, you talk about with Christ being at the center, knowing God, making him known, all this stuff. And I think a lot of times, even when you're talking about sometimes the Sabbath of people just taking their 3 days and shutting off their phone, these are all great habits. Like walk around outside, get vitamin D, like get real sunlight. But I think that when it becomes like almost like a trendy thing, it almost becomes a bit more of like a self-help kind of new agey thing in the midst of the Jesus stuff, right? Yeah. And I think that like when our pursuit is genuinely just Jesus, again, it's not to demonize any of those things, but I think it really is to just come into like, what does my life look like? What does hard work look like? What does balance look like in all of this? I love that this is that. And the other thing that I love, even as you're talking, is, you know, we lived in California for a long time. You live in California now. You know that there's always the new trendy health thing, right? Like we keep, I feel like every year we discover this new way to eat. And last year's new way to eat is now dumb because the new way to eat is so much better because science proves it, right? And I remember when I lived in California,
everyone was a vegan.
Everyone. Then
everyone was on paleo.
Yep. Then everyone. Yes, exactly. That's
now everyone's on carnivore. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on.
Trend.
Y'all just took the jersey off and reversed it.
And what's even more funny too is like the church follows, because I feel like communion follows these trends.
Oh,
but think about like you go to churches now, there's so many, like at some of the bigger churches, there's so many kinds of communion. There's like gluten-free communion.
I've never seen this a day in my life. I don't know. No.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
There's gluten-free? I wish somebody would request some gluten-free.
I've been in churches I've been in
you
churches,
up for excommunication in church discipline.
Okay, so I'm not going to start calling out churches, but I've been in churches, bro, where there's gluten-free communion, sugar-free communion, because you know the juice, right? If there's sugar,
if you don't sit down and just take the daggone communion.
Are you for real?
Bro, I'm so serious.
Sugar-free communion?
Oh, no. I would not work well on that stuff. Won't do it. I couldn't do it. They would,
I don't mind saying, like, if I had it my way, I would love to see real wine in communion. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
You know, but outside of that, like, we're not coddling you and your...
I remember one time we were giving people, it was non-alcoholic wine for communion. And we were in a small group, dude. And he was like, ugh, you got something different? This is bitter. And I'm like... You know what was also bitter? The death of Jesus, right? I'm like, if
this
you don't
should
drink
taste
this,
better.
Look, it's this big. And I'm like, yo, we got our priorities way mixed up here.
You can't complain that communion doesn't taste good. That's like, that's
man, dude, this wine busting. Like,
that's wild.
We missed the point.
What I was gonna say though is that like, in that culture of like all the health stuff, it started to become a whole lot of like what you can't eat, right? And I remember one time I had a friend who was vegan, but he wasn't like trendy vegan. Like he had like been vegan for years, like before people even knew what that word was. They didn't know the difference between vegan and vegetarian. I feel like if you were vegan before people knew vegan was a thing, then that you can, then you're good. Sure. I count you.
I feel bad for you.
But so I remember I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try. So I'm always knocking this dude. I'll make videos like making fun of him. I was like, I'm gonna try and do the vegan thing. I knew all the things that I couldn't eat, but I didn't know what I could eat. And so for 2 weeks, and I'm not even kidding, because I was done. This was so foreign to me. I'd barely known this word. But for 2 weeks, I ate
peanut butter jelly sandwich.
No, bro, spinach, raw almonds, and blue corn tortillas. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know what else to buy at the store. Like everything else has all these ingredients. And I would mix it up in all different combinations. I'd have the spinach and then almonds. Sometimes I'd wrap the spinach in the corn tortilla, the blue corn tortilla.
Oh my gosh.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And I remember I was miserable at the end of the 2 weeks. I had actually gained weight because I ate so many almonds.
Almonds are really high in calories.
I didn't know. Like, and I never felt full. I never felt satisfied. And then I dated this girl who also was a vegan, and she like was showing me stuff that I could eat, and she was making desserts that were sweetened without processed sugar, that were sweetened with like dates and bananas, and then she was making some stuff that I actually loved. Like I really came to love some of these plates. And what I realized was that when there was such a focus on what I couldn't do, I became overwhelmed and burnt out, and I wanted to quit so quick. But when I realized what I could do, and actually, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like I think that there's some really great things about the vegan diet, right? Some things that we can cut out that like, there was some stuff that it was very like life-giving. I felt like I was eating real food. And it wasn't until someone showed me what I could have to replace the bad stuff.
That's good.
And I think that sometimes we approach Christianity like a food trend, like, well, you can't do this, you can't do this. Everyone knows they shouldn't lie, they shouldn't be stingy, they shouldn't be greedy, they shouldn't be unforgiving, we know what we shouldn't do. Yeah. And people try to not do those things, and they're sitting at home like, okay, don't go on that website, don't go on that website, don't do that thing, don't talk to a person like this, and they don't know what to replace it with.
That's right.
So they feel now extra empty because they're not satisfying their flesh cravings or their spiritual cravings because they don't know what to fill it with. They try reading the Bible, but they don't even really know how to apply. So like the idea of giving people tools of what to do, and we've noticed this again within Christianity, you start giving people actually life-giving tools. You start showing them how to walk with Jesus, how to have healthy community, how to have real conversations, why generosity is like fulfilling, inviting them into spaces where they give. Man, it makes all the difference in the world. And to bring this full circle back to this book and some of the stuff that you're saying, what's really cool is you talk about writing this to the old version of yourself. It's like, because you had mentioned, I know that I was doing the checklist. I went to church and I didn't look at this, I didn't do this. This, I think, becomes now a tool to be like, how do I be a Christian and have dreams?
That's right.
And what do I, not just cut stuff out to exhaust myself, but because there is life-giving replacements, right? There are life-giving replacements. The same when I was eating all this junk, I was eating snacks and fast food and all these things. I didn't just like stop eating all of the trashy food. I was putting real food into my body.
Right. That's right.
And my body now is coming alive. And I think that it's the same thing. We need stuff that's giving us life. And I think this is what's so valuable about, and not just this book, man. I think the way that you live, the way that Richard lives, it's like, I mean, this dude will show up at the drop of a hat for anything. Like, I was like, literally, when did I call you? This morning. I was like, hey, dude, will you come over here in a Santa suit? He was like, cool, let me rearrange some stuff. Like, he was like, that sounds fun and random. And so, and it's not just that, like, it's multiple things. I mean, we've gone through a crazy year, gone through a lot of stuff. This dude's been there more than some people that I've known for a really long time. And I mean, same with you, bro. You were a super support. And there was one thing that I actually did. I don't remember if I read this, if I heard you say it. It was something about not seeing people as competition, but as collaborators. Is that
collaborators?
What it is? Yeah. And I've felt that, man. Like, every time I've spent time with you, I'm like, man, I want to like go to thing and do stuff. You've been so incredibly helpful in every area, and I've been so challenged by that kind of stuff. And I think,
no. I was gonna say, like, I think when we see the big picture of what God is doing, we're building His kingdom. We then are less consumed with trying to build our castle.
Yes,
and then you start seeing brothers in the faith not as competition, but as people to collaborate with and people to have community with. And I think the interesting part is, like, once you walk through that, it almost seems counterintuitive, but that it's like the paradox that contentment is the pathway towards flourishing. Like, you first got to be content with what you have, and then God tends to advance, right?
Yeah.
Community and collaboration is actually the antidote to that, like, unhealthy competitive spirit. But then there's also, like, a healthy aspect of, like, oh man, like, this is dope. This studio's, I'm thinking, like, how can I take this and incorporate it into what I'm doing and make it even better, right? So there's a healthy, the word competition even feels weird, but there's a healthy, like, camaraderie we can have. And I think people wrestle with that. And I my buddy said this, and this is not vetted theologically, though I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as a pastor. But he said this thing to me. He said, you know, Solomon went and built God's temple, but at the same time, God allowed him to also build his castle. But where Solomon drifted is then he spent more time on his castle than he did on God's temple. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so God didn't have a problem with that.
No,
you know?
I know, not at
but
all.
Then he drifted. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh, my goodness. We have to remember, like, yes, God used us as tools to build, to help everybody else. I love that word, collaborative, because that's what it is. Zero competition. Alongside of that, we are part of the collaboration. Like, the Lord blesses us as well. And the Lord gives us, think about it. He gives us intellect. He gives us resources. He gives everything that we need to not only help everybody else out, but to help ourselves out as well. As long as we are keeping the main thing. As long as God gives the glory, why would He give talents? Why wouldn't He give resources? Why wouldn't He give a voice? Why wouldn't He give, the gift of entertainment or whatever? Like, no, absolutely. I think God is blessing other people does not mean purging yourself completely. Right? If that makes sense. Right?
You're not left empty.
Exactly.
What do you think about the Solomon thing, though? Do you think that Do you think there was ever a time where God had an issue initially with him building his castle?
Initially. Now, I haven't seen it anywhere in the scriptures.
Yeah.
Now, when we see the problem is when Solomon...
He spent like twice as long or something.
Boom, right? but then you think about it, and it's snowballed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Solomon was like, you know what? One concubine wouldn't hurt.
Right.
2, 4, 10.
1,000 later.
And then he was a super freak
Yeah.
or whatever, right? He just had that mentality of like, hey, yo, boom, this is me. I got this, whatever. And then, but what did he also say? Hey, yo, he was like, all of this stuff is vanity. I missed it completely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like he was aware of it,
Yes.
but somehow it kept happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
There's a thing, I can't remember, but it's like someone says called like the Solomon principle. I can't remember. I'm probably butchering this, but it's the idea that sometimes people who give great advice aren't always good at taking their own advice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
Solomon's
Yeah.
banging
This is
Proverbs,
true.
Yeah, yeah.
Ecclesiastes, crushing
beautiful
it.
words.
Yeah. And then you're like, yo, what about your life, dog?
He's like, I really hope they do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is really good things for them to hear.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's cool too. I think this is really challenging as well because, like, just in full transparency, as we're talking about this, I think I have a tendency also to think very competitively because of my own insecurities and feeling small, right? And it's weird. Again, I'm gonna keep going back to this. I love when you said about the idea of ambition is a thing that should be serving other people because that changes everything. Because I think of like, this was like just last week, man. I went through it's weird, like couple days. I felt like my brain was just almost becoming corrupted in like this depression and feeling small and all these things. And it started with almost allowing myself to start looking at other people again as competition. I did an event where I felt like the artist I was there with, I mean, he's like super blown up, but he's just not kind, right? A Christian artist who just like every single person was having the biggest problem with this dude and one of the other groups that was there. And both of them are like huge. And I'm sitting here like, God, like, I want to be selfish. I'm trying my best to serve. And like, they're the ones running around with all the success and all. And I feel like the minute I let that thing slip in, I got into like this mindset almost of like, where my mission is for people to see God. But the more I see things through this wrong lens, I'm actually more concerned with people seeing me, right? Where it's almost like I start to take God's place in my own mission of like, how do I get people to see me? And I think it really is the beginning of getting off course because of the thing that you said. When we see this as we're serving, like our audience, maybe those other guys that I'm sitting here getting mad at, they have their own struggle, but I'm sitting here mad because of what I think I deserve. But when I think of it as like, dude, these are people we're serving together. Like my mission is for this audience to know Jesus. Their mission is for them to know Jesus, whether we're more Solomon than other people, right? Like preaching this thing, not living it out. At the end of the day, because we are a team, my job should then be to even serve them and encouraging them and praying for them. Because again, this is just me being transparent. My thing, I didn't go right to, gosh, I got to pray for these dudes. They're probably tired. They're on the road all the time. They have everyone worshiping them. Even within the church, they're always the guy everyone's coming for. Like, instead of thinking through things that I've also struggled with and praying for them in that, my thing went right to making it about myself. And like I said, again, I start to replace God in my own mission. And come on. It's these kinds of things. I think this is why these conversations are important, because it's like we need these tools. We need this language behind what we're doing so that we can recognize it and be like, wait, Dustin, I'm here to serve the people. And it's not just the people in the seats in the venues. It's also the people I'm on the stage with. It's the producers. It's the other artists. And when I'm seeing them as competition, I'm more worried about if the audience liked me more or the guy who went before or after me, right?
Can you imagine what it felt like if you were a priest or a Levite or even a soldier back when Samson was walking the face of the earth?
Yeah,
and
my gosh.
And not only are you hearing these stories, but you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, and you're a faithful dude. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? You know, you're making sure you're ceremonially cleansed. You're making all of the correct sacrifices. You are dedicating your life to the Lord, and you're doing the right things. And things just seems to be tripping, right?
Yeah,
a Philistine bust you upside the head and you couldn't even do nothing about it, right? Because you're too frail, or you didn't have the influence or the resources or whatever. And you see this dude who's tricking off, you know, and then he just picks up, a daggum skull and beating up everybody. And you're like, God, yo, that's the guy?
Yeah.
Imagine what their prayer looked like. Like, God, how come you didn't give me this strength? Like, I would have kept my hair. I would have done everything that I needed to do. I can almost guarantee you God's response was, this is your portion. Like I built you to do exactly what you're doing right now. Do you think I'm more satisfied with him? I would deal with him. You need to deal with you. This is your portion.
Man.
There are people that these priests and Levites influence that Samson did not, but those are the ones that we're reading about. So are we more worried about us getting in the book and beating up a bunch of people and getting all of this fame and notoriety or whatever, or are we satisfied with our portion? And we're like, God, give me more so I can do more. But what if God is like, this is it? Like, this is what I called you to do. Are we happy with that? I have to ask myself all of the time as a pastor, like, are these folks that's in the congregation right now, is this it? All right? Am I satisfied with this? Satisfied in the fact of, like, I am grateful and I'm going to be faithful with the congregation or with the resources God is calling me to do, or am I not grateful? And I'm like, no, like, what's fueling my ambition? I think I have to ask myself that all of the time.
Yeah, that's good.
And will we stay ambitious? Because I think that's the thing too, is I think that the tendency for some people is to be like, oh, well, that guy's more successful. He's doing it all anyway. I'll just check out. And like you said, I'll have the 3 Sabbaths a week because I don't like, I'll let him do the work. And I think this is what's cool is like we continue to stay ambitious according to our portion and our gifts and our skills.
Come
on. I think in both examples, right, what you're describing and what you're describing in ministry, I think the way I've been fortunate to just keep walking through, I know you guys know this already, so I'm not saying anything you don't know, is I'm just committed to the inputs. And then God has to do the outputs. So that's good. I'm gonna go. I'm going to tend to the garden. I'm gonna pull the weeds out. I'm gonna kill the gophers. Right. Song of Solomon. It's the little foxes that destroy the garden. Right? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna plant better seed. So I'm gonna actually do things that are helpful, and I'm gonna keep doing those inputs. I'm gonna keep working on the land, but ultimately God has to produce the harvest. And so like I would love to have 1 million channels. Subscribers on my YouTube channel, right? I'm at 800,000. But I just asked myself that. And I said, what if I don't ever get another subscriber? What if I never reach 1 million subscribers? Like, am I content? Like, am I content? And I would say, I'm so fortunate. Come on. Just to be where I'm at. I was fortunate years ago to be able to do music full time and sustain my family off that. So again, I think it's that idea of like, you start with contentment and you say, man, God, I'm content. However, I'm going to keep doing the inputs, and I can't always control the outputs. I can't control. You can't control how many people come to the church. You can't control who the next show in the theater and like the tour. Like there's certain things we can't control. Some of it is just the hand of God. And to me that takes the pressure off because I'm just going to show up and be faithful. I'm going to show up and be faithful. And if it's 1 million, if it's 10 million, if it's 800,000, and I'm stuck here forever. Cool. I'm fine.
And even like Jesus, if it starts to dwindle because you start speaking truth that offends people, right? I think this all comes back to the redefining of what that ambition is, what success is. Because I would also say that like some of the people who've made the greatest impact in my life are people who the world doesn't know their name. And I think that sometimes when we equate, like you said, the output, when we equate the results of ambition to be worldly success, and we stop celebrating what God is actually doing with us on a small scale, I think that's when we also start losing sight of why we're even fighting to begin with. Because like I think we've like started to idolize the platform so much that we think that's the end all be all, that's the end goal, that's where we end up with the most impact. And yet you look at Jesus, when it came time to either serve the masses or serve an individual, he chose the individual, and he continued to hide at the peak. Like, I mean, if you think about it, there were so many times, like for branding's sake, that it was probably a really bad marketing plan to leave when he did. But because he understood that success with the masses versus success with the small amounts of people, that there was more transformation happening with the people that he could sit with. And the disciples were the one who transformed the world as we know it because they carried out what they were taught. I think that's also really encouraging as well because, like for me, just saying, the thing I was saying I was struggling with when I'm looking at, but they have all this. I can look and be like, man, God, I have people in my life that I'm getting to like pour into every day. And there's people who are pouring into me who also don't have a platform. And am I going to say that they haven't been valuable in my life just because they don't have fans and followers? Like, to me, they're the most successful people I know because they have laid down themselves and every day they fight to know Jesus.
That's right.
They're all successful in their own ways. But as long as we buy into the world's version of success, I think that will also confuse our pursuit. That will also confuse our ambition. Because we're expecting it, like you said, to look a certain way. We are telling God what the output is supposed to be. Rather than focusing on what is my focus on Jesus and how do I bring what I have to the table and be obedient in the moments that God calls me to do whatever he's calling me to do.
Amen. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
If there's anything else, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to like share, say there's on your heart about this. I just
no, I mean, look, people should get the book. If you're like, hey, I got it, I'm kind of living this out, cool. Get the book for your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews. I think it really helps people, and it walks them through the practical system. We talk about talent stacking, mastering the fundamentals, being a good church member in the midst of it all. The whole chapter 9 is all about community and church, right? Preparing for setbacks. So I think people should get the book. But I do want to say that I think God is absolutely going to breathe on what you guys got going here.
Oh, thanks.
And I think watching you guys is already entertaining. Being in the room is even more of a treat. And I would and my only encouragement would be just keep putting in the reps.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up
That's
at bat. Man, sometimes you're just getting on base over and over, and it's not flashy.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting on base, you know. And that's how YouTube was for me for the first several years. Was like, just getting on base, just getting on base, and then you get one breakout. You know, and then the bases are loaded. And you hit a home run. You know, so I would just encourage you guys like keep doing this because you guys are hilarious. It's like a comedy podcast. The first like 20 minutes of this is like a straight you storytelling and you piggybacking. You doing the magic, your reactions, like it's phenomenal.
Just walking in a Santa suit.
It was great.
Random,
so I would just encourage you guys like keep going.
Thanks, man.
Keep going. Don't stop. Obviously, stop and refine and reflect and what can be tweaked. But yeah, I think what you guys got here is super special.
Oh,
I mean, you know this because you're a world-class performer, but I'm talking like I know this is new to you as well. And this is new to you as well as a podcaster, preacher into podcasting. But you'll appreciate the ability to impact people at scale. Right? So the message getting out at scale is amazing, and more people there's just two types of things. One, I think more and more people want good, meaty conversations that are thoughtful, especially young men. And two, there's also people that just want good, keep me company content.
You said it.
They just want to throw something on. It's wholesome. It's fun. And they just want to throw it on while they're doing laundry and working on the yard and just keep me company content. And I think this is God's gonna breathe on this in a major way,
man.
and he already has because it's a blessing to me.
Thanks, bro. Well, it's very humbling, and I do just want to say again, just to encourage people, like you said, the book, get the book, whatever. I think that like we need to start putting language to the things stopping us from walking out the fullness of the call of God in our life, because I mean, we see some of the things happening in the world, and it's not just because some leader didn't pass the right laws, some politician didn't, make the right bills or whatever. Like, the reason is when the church gets quiet and the church forgets who they are, communities transform for the worse, right?
Yes.
And when Christians are serving their communities, like you said, like seeing their ambition as something that serves the people around, serves their families, communities get healthy, despite what the entertainment world's doing, despite what the education system is doing, despite what politics are doing. It is up to us to make our families healthy, to make our communities healthy. And to me, it's like every chance we get, we should be grasping a hold of the things that are helping us do that. And again, to put language to it, because even just you saying the thing of to serve, it sounds so simple. I've heard other people say similar things in different ways. Sometimes it's that one sentence, the way somebody words that one thing that clicks in your brain, and it will change you forever. Right?
Yeah. And let me just add some context to that. By serve, I think, yes, there are certain things we should be doing to say, hey, I'm going to position myself and do whatever the most remedial task is, because it's actually good for my ego and healthy. But I don't mean serve in the sense of like, pastor should be out there mowing the lawn every week.
Right.
Acts 6 has them delegating the responsibility. Ephesians says that the ministers in the church, the pastors, preachers, evangelists, so on and so forth, are there to equip the saints for
Yes.
the work of the ministry.
Come on.
Right? So you're not supposed to be doing everything. Matter of fact, if you're doing everything, that's a problem.
I
right?
agree.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
failing-
We need
I am
other people doing
failing
it.
as a leader.
Yeah, you
doing
got to
everything
equip the
myself.
other people to
Yes.
do the work
Yes.
of the ministry.
Yeah.
So I want to make that caveat.
No, that's great.
For ambition is that yes, serving, but sometimes serving looks like you up and encouraging. That might look
Right.
like you equipping other
You're
people
100%
because
right.
now they have ownership in
Yeah.
the thing,
Yeah.
right? And I think that is that could be paradoxical.
Right,
and there's
right.
some tension there.
So serving not for you, because
Yes.
even as a pastor, you're serving, but like you're saying
Yeah.
there are roles that he has to do well, right?
Yes.
And the same with me when I'm up on stage performing.
Yes.
I'm serving these people, but if I'm worrying about this, the music cues and the
Yes.
lighting and all the things,
Yes.
I can't focus on doing what God has gifted me
Yes.
with correctly. And
Yes.
so I think really it's the perspective shift of like when I am on stage, it is to give those people something.
right.
It is not so that they can define my worth.
That's
I think
right.
I like that you really said
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's super important is
Yes.
we need to use the gifts that God's given us, understand how to use those things to serve.
Right.
And then
Yeah, and then the only other thing I would add is that I think there's also, I'm gonna use a fancy word that I hear Jordan Peterson use all the time. There's also a hierarchy of values, right? So like you serve your family and your wife before you serve the homeless dude that's been off of heroin for 11 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that, there's a hierarchy that
Yeah.
we have.
Agreed.
And in 1 Timothy 5, Paul is writing and he's talking about the widows in the church who are young enough to get, and widows in that context were very destitute. The lowest, most vulnerable person you could be a widow, right?
Yeah.
Is to be a widow. So Paul says, hey, the widows that are young, they need to go ahead and get remarried because they're going to be busybodies and run around here gossiping and just making stuff. Right? So he's like, they need to go ahead and get remarried. Then he says, hey, the widows who have no one to take care of them, that's who the church has to take care of. But then he acts like a prerequisite. He goes, as long as they've been faithful to the Lord's people and they've been washing the apostles' feet. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is like the benevolence fund from the church actually came with prerequisites.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
As it. Yep.
That's crazy to
I
think
have
about.
these conversations with these people.
Yeah.
People don't see the backdoor convos
Yeah.
or whatever, right? I can't tell you how many people, and we give. Lord have mercy. We give. But some folks come out of the woodwork and they're like, hey, yo, what's up? And every time they look at me crazy, and every time I'm like, okay, cool. How do we get us plugged in? Now, and when I'm talking about plugged in, and Dustin knows, I'm not the guy that does like, yo, come to the church, do this within the church. I'm like, what are we doing to get our butts out into the city? How are we faithfully serving the Lord in that? And whenever it's goose egg, it's normally a goose egg, right? I'm like, yo, let's grind this stuff together, right?
Yeah.
Because then it's just enabling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's toxic charity.
That's it.
whenever
That's
we're doing that.
And then the third thing then he goes on to say, now the widows who are not young enough to get remarried and the widows who the church is taking care of, those widows who have family, he says, whoever does not provide for the needs of their family, specifically their immediate family, is worse than a non-believer and is denied to faith.
Come on.
Right?
Wow.
And so there's the hierarchy.
Bible's so savage sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, there's the hierarchy though. So what that practically means is like this idea of like we're shipping grandma off when she's inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like everywhere else throughout all the space and time, people have always done life multi-generationally.
Yeah.
And here we're so hyper individualistic that like, hey, no, like you think like, oh, just man, we're lucky if we just have everyone in the same household.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No. That multi-generationally taking care of the widows, taking care of the elderly, taking care of folks within our immediate family, whether that's a single mom who's a widow, or whether that's an actual widow who's older. But therein lies the framework of like whoever does not provide for the needs of his family, specifically his immediate family. So it's actually not the church's job to just be a charity foundation, to care for every and everybody. Church's job is actually to equip people to do the ministry and preach the gospel, for the pastor to devote themselves to prayer and of the ministry of the word. It's on the rest of the people to do the ministering, and then it's on the Christians to take care of their own. I'm supposed to take care of my own.
Yeah.
Now, we say all of that in light of a crazy disruptive economy, AI coming on the scene, wealth inequality, the cost of living. Just to get to baseline, is going to require some ambition.
Yeah.
Just to get to a place of like, let me take care of my family and my extended family.
Yes.
Just to get there is like, you can't be average.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bell curve,
Come on,
average,
say it.
that was very fruitful in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Today, if you're average,
Come on.
you broke. You're
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not good. So you
Yeah.
got to be an outlier.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, well, we have the spirit of the living God.
We
Right.
have the mind of Christ.
That's right.
We were created to create and cultivate,
That's
right?
right.
With him.
That's right.
The moments that we start abandoning our ambition, we're not walking in our true calling.
Right.
Yeah.
Every single living person has godly ambition to create and cultivate.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the enemy wants to do is for us to go outside of our image and to be dull and to be passive,
Right.
Yeah.
Adam, all right? To be passive and just to sit and for us to constantly struggle.
Yeah.
Saints are supposed to take care of one another. The Bible said if you're going to do anything for anybody, do it within the household of the faith.
Mm.
If the enemy could clip your wings and get you to a place that you can even barely provide for yourself in any capacity, he's won.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's won.
Yeah, and-
Unfortunately, we see a lot of that.
And the beautiful part about it is it doesn't have to be this like, hey man, like I'm gonna go to college and like consume myself. Like it doesn't got to be this crazy fork in the
Yeah,
road
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
It's usually those little decisions, those non-negotiables. If you could
Yes.
structure your day and non-negotiables in the book,
Yeah.
I say that incremental investments lead to monumental advancements.
Yeah.
So it's those
Oh,
little things,
that's
the
good.
little
Yeah,
things
yeah.
of like you come in and you're like, hey, how you doing with the nutrition? And I'm like, well, I just had some, I said
Gummy worms.
I just had some gummy worms. You're like, I thought you were eating healthy, and it's like, well, I'm logging it.
Yeah.
But that logging it, that macro habit, is keeping me
Yeah,
from
that's
getting
good.
more wider as I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
more older.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you and so then you get 500 days of logging your food, and all of a sudden you're more conscious of what you're eating, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go to the gym, 3 days a week for
Yeah.
a year, you're gonna look like a different person.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
save every month. You save, you give, you tithe, you do it. Like these things compound over time.
Yeah.
And I think people are like, well, you're saying I have to flip my life upside down. No one's saying flip your life upside down. I'm saying, hey, that 50 hours a week the average American spends passively consuming media.
Yeah, dude.
Let's cut that down to 20.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying stop watching
Come on.
everything.
Yep.
Especially as a YouTuber, you keep watching my show, keep watching Dustin, keep watching your sermons, right? But what I'm saying is, hey, cut that down, and that other 30 hours that you just got back,
Yeah.
you can do a lot with 30 hours a
Yeah,
week.
dude,
I
You
know.
can go to the gym, you can
Yes,
meal
you
prep,
can.
you can go to church,
You could
can
even
spend time with
probably
your
pray.
family, you can
Yeah,
pray
I
every
know,
day.
right?
You can learn new skills, right? And so we're talking little micro habits every single day. Break
Yeah.
your days and your weeks and your months into non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Every Sunday, me and my family are in church. That's
Yeah.
a non-negotiable.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
going to church. I don't
Yeah,
care if I just flew in and I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm going to church.
Yeah, yeah.
Non-negotiable, right?
Yeah,
Hey, every
yeah.
day I'm going to go out. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get 8 to 12,000 steps a day. I'm going to take a walk. Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to log my food. Non-negotiable. I'm going to give. I'm going to give at least 10%. Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Those are the things that compound over time. And then before you know it, you look up and you're like, man, I look different. I feel better. I'm sleeping better.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
marriage is better because me and my wife spend time every day. That's a non-negotiable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So those are the things that I think compound. And again, all of that requires godly ambition
Yeah,
to say,
yeah.
God has more for me.
Yeah, and I think it is just being aware of those things, and like you said, all the compounded things. I think that there's these little moments of obedience. We expect sometimes that our walk with God is going to be like He speaks this big thing, move across the country, move to another place, become a missionary, right? And sometimes it's just like paying attention when you wake up. Like, what do I do at the first couple moments
Come
of my
on.
day?
You
Like,
said it.
and
Yeah.
it's those little things of obedience that build new habit. Even the other day, I was on the plane. I was working on a. I had this idea for a magic trick. I had all these random letters. I needed to make a word out of the letters. That probably sounds really random, but whatever. And I was like, I picked up my phone and I went to Google, what words can you make with these letters? And I felt this weird check. And not that it's like evil. I'm not saying like you shouldn't Google things, but there was this weird part of me that God's like, hey, like, let's just have fun. Just figure this out, man. Just let it be you. It becomes so easy to just, like you said, ChatGPT, have AI do a thing for you. Have AI write this thing. Have it correct this thing. Have it fix this thing. Have it ask it this question. Sometimes if you have a question, maybe just go to the Bible. Like, dude, I remember when I was young, I just kind of flip around and find something, and it applies when I'm going through. I think we've relied so much on these things that are just simple, that don't really take a whole lot of discipline, that a moment comes up in our life where it takes discipline, but we've already trained ourselves to do what's easy and fast. To where all of a sudden, that little thing of obedience that God gave us, it's almost impossible to do because I've never taught myself to do it. I've never taught myself to not scroll first.
You can't Google God open my eyes
Come on.
to see.
Yeah.
Ain't no chat
an
GPT for that.
opportunity directly in front of you,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
right.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit to identify, oh, that's God. That's you working. Let me go ahead and pull on that thread,
Yeah.
right? And so what's so beautiful about that, like we have to understand, like we have the living God directly inside of us, and
Yeah.
He's always communicating to us. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm right here. And if we miss it, if we're so consumed with either one, the most efficient way to kind of get something done,
Yeah.
or just not just doing it at all. Anyway, the Lord's just communicating to us
Yeah.
all the time,
No,
and we
it's
just
good.
open our eyes and look
Yeah.
at Him.
That's good.
Well, bro, thank you so much
Dude, thank you for having me.
and
This
doing
was
this. Please,
Yeah.
everyone, seriously, please just do yourself
Come on.
a favor. If you don't know Ruslan,
And thank you for this, bro.
yeah.
I thought this was gonna like open up, and it was like,
Just expecting more.
I would expect that to be like in your back pocket or something like that, because He's put something
yeah.
like in my
I saw
shoe.
it. I saw
In
he
my
put something
shoe.
in your house,
in
in your
my
closet.
house, bro. Yeah.
I was like, how did that happen?
Still, yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, we got
It's
some.
so funny the things that I get accused of now from this. Every time,
dude.
legit, every time I see him, he's like, he's checking everything.
Every time I
first.
come in the house, I'm like, I'm real talk. I
Wait,
came in here, I was like, hold on.
Wait, real quick. I
did
just did an event recently. It was a marriage retreat, and I had this chick up on the stage. I did a thing with her, and I was like, look, if we could do one more magic trick with like this thing, what should we do? And she was like, she said, put it in my pocket.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay, first of all, we're at a marriage retreat. You can't, your husband's sitting right there. You can't tell me put something in your pocket. Like this.
Did you say this out loud to her?
Yeah, I said
You
out
said
loud.
this out loud?
Yeah, I said it out loud. I was like, hold on. I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I was like, you can't just request for another man to put something in your pocket. I was thinking maybe let's do something not on you in your pockets. But it is funny because that's like always the go-to that people expect.
That's
And I always get the dude too who shows up. Like find out I'm a magician and they're like, oh, can you make my wife disappear?
Oh my
like
God.
this is the stupidest. People don't know how to interact with magicians, bro. It's just,
Promise you.
they fail every time.
But I mean, how do you react to a Rubik's Cube being exactly what it's
Yeah,
supposed to
that's
be,
pretty-
and something in your sock, or your wife is like, "Hey, yo," and it's my signature. Like,
Something in your
y'all are
sock.
nothing but like, bro, I love you, but you are a godly pickpocketer. Like that's what you do, bro. Like, man, a con artist, pickpocketer, bro. You just. But you're awesome.
It is funny. I said it before though, because people are always like, because I never know if I should say magician, not magician, and I said illusionist, and then someone came out, oh, so
You
you
said
so you
illusionist?
deceive people.
Oh my god.
And so I was like, I said this to him. I think it was in one of the podcasts we did. I was like, yeah, it's a little less like steal, kill, destroy, a little more like surprise birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, I am tricking you and lying to you for your own benefit, because by the end of this, you will feel celebrated.
Yes,
You'll know you
yes.
love.
You'll feel happy.
And the only difference is that I'm telling you there's a surprise birthday party. I'm not pretending to have powers. I'm letting you know, hey, I'm lying. So
Bro,
I'm even
you-
more honest than your friends who planned you a surprise
you
birthday party.
You get scripture after scripture after Bible story after Bible story until somebody's like, I don't know, you shouldn't use that word. You just completely missed it, didn't you?
I just
Missed
did
the
a thing.
point.
I just did a thing with the cast of The Chosen. I posted a video,
that was
and
dope.
and one of the one comment, the one chick was like, she quoted something from Exodus that's like, witches should be put to death.
Lord,
and I'm like, first of all, is that a threat? Because I've had enough of those in this past year. But I'm like, is that,
Hey,
I'm
too
like,
soon.
is that you? Did you just say this publicly?
Stupid, bro.
Second of all, witches, we should eat food.
Bro, you dork. You dork.
Cool. Well, thank you again,
Thank
bro.
you, man.
Appreciate
This
you.
was great.
Love you, dude.
Thank you, guys.
And we should go eat food.
Yeah,
but
shoot some
only
food.
if you wear the Santa suit.
No.
I am not about to be the black Santa in Branson.
Just
Nah.
black linebacker
I
Santa
already
Claus.
st-
Wait,
already
it's not
stand
just
out.
because you're black. It's because you're huge. Too.
Because I'm black, too.
Like, no, bro.
Bro,
like,
I
listen,
have several
that's-
skinny black friends in here, and we all look crazy. Like, I mean, it was like
in Branson.
Is
like,
the black population small in black? In Branson?
very, but it's
well,
growing.
it's because,
Yeah.
but it's because we grow
growing
white people
significantly,
here.
right?
We
Oh yeah,
grow white people.
We have a
here.
white people farm just right up the road.